so many times the right hand does not know what the left hand knows. So don't think just because you told 3 different people on the phone when you called over the last 6 months that this thing, and you've been trying to get it forever, do not assume that when you send this in, it's going to be understood, because this will go through maybe that loss mitigator just very ever so slightly, and it will then be, they're going to do a property, what's called a BPO, or a broker price opinion on the property. They'll get it through some sort of an underwriting process over to people who are actually really analyzing it, and quite often your lender does it just so far, and then they'll flip it over to whoever the underlying investor is. So particularly if it's Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, quite often it'll go to the Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac back lines to be evaluated. So in that case, you're going to have an underwriter that you've never talked to that underwriter, nor will you ever talk to that underwriter. So make sure anything that you are sending in does not at all assume that the person has ever heard you. So if you don't get a modification after, and you've got most of the qualifications in, and you see it based on the forms that you should have been able to qualify, then I would definitely advise you to give me a call. I'd be very, very interested in helping you at that point to contact, to just help to evaluate what I think, scratching my head, is your next step. They can tell you or send it to you if you give them a call. Also, our website has a lot of lender loss mitigation packages, workout packages that they want. But I have to say, on our website, we err on the side of too much when we have a question mark in our heads on what they actually need. So, you might want to, if you don't really want to do all of that work, you may want to call them. Some lenders really only require very, very few items from you. So you could end up being pleasantly surprised if you give them a call on your loan. So basically, if you're in doubt about this, send them more. I wouldn't err on the side of omitting some vital things. The more information, the better. They'll like it better. The more, they can really see what you're trying to show them. Now, point 11. Call the lender. Let them know what you're doing. Let them know that you're sending this package into them. Make sure you are keeping a copy of the package, of everything that you have sent into them. Find out from them how long it will take for them to even get it input into their system that you've sent them this data, and what their queue is, if they have a queue, and how long it's going to take before this gets evaluated. And then write all of this down. And when you call them, make sure you're getting the name and phone number, employee number, and all of that. Make sure you're noting this exactly. Have a worksheet, one full worksheet for each conversation. Don't just stick this all on a piece of paper, scribbling it. Document it fully. Get exactly what they've advised you to do documented down there. Even if some people tape the calls just for their own edification, which is totally fine. But even if you are doing that, write it down as well and put it in hard copy into your file. You just never know when those things get all jumbled or lost. So you want to be able to go back through these conversations quickly. You want to be able to get an overall view and outline of what's going on. And when you're on the phone with somebody, more importantly, you want to be able to say, hey, look, I've called you 5 times in the last 3 weeks. And this is what Joe said. And on this date, this is what Fred said. And Mary then said this. And you guys are conflicting. So I just can't tell you how helpful it really is for a party like yourselves who are calling into your lender trying to get assistance to do it in a professional manner. A lot of the homeowners out there are just sort of disheveled. They're beside themselves. They look at the lender as sort of a demigod, and they don't know what to say. They're afraid. All of this. Um, one key thing of advice on all of this is a clean heart cannot be hurt. Just keep that in mind. A clean heart can't be hurt. You don't want to end up lying and then having to cover your tracks and remember that lie next time and things like that. First of all, you don't want to lie anyway. Um, you know, there's just no value in that. You lose self-respect. Your morale, everything else. Not to mention the fact that who knows what's going to happen to your income and profitability after that. So don't get into these kind of silly negative gains. Worst case scenario is you're going to be kicked out of your home, and if you are, okay, life will go on. So try to take a look at this from a responsible level. Take a look at what can you do to help the process professionally, to be an asset to the lender in working out this mutual problem that both of you have. Uh, Make sure that you keep, again, notes on what your finances are, etc. And obviously do these other things that I'm suggesting, because if you do this and don't skimp, take an extra day now and then to make sure everything's all updated and complete and accurate. You're going to save yourself the 6 months that you're going to lose by getting a complete and utter rejection and nobody even being willing to talk to you about loan modification after that for a while. Okay, so basically keep in mind that things will go better for you, if you're honest, if you keep your noses clean, you're accurate, and all of this. Call the lender back once a week until the modification is approved, and I would definitely keep that as a strategy on all of these. Don't allow the lender to go a week without hearing from you and finding out exactly from somebody, and you've documented again who that person is, where this is in the evolution, and what they have to say. Eventually you can see that all of this will work in your favor if you do this. Don't hesitate to resend the package if it appears to be lost. But if you have to resend the package, next time send it certified mail, return receipt, so you can see who in what department received this, so that you can next time tell them this was received in this department by this person. And sometimes it's interesting because there's sometimes some lenders have 2, 3 loan servicing centers, and it, for whatever reason, ended up at the address of a loan statement which was being processed in Brea, and where it really needs to go, the loss mitigation modification worksheets and whatnot need to go up to Sacramento. I mean, this kind of thing can happen, and does, unfortunately. So keep track of all of this, and do ultimately send via certified mail and get the name of whoever's received this. And if you want to make sure that you're not going to get into long-term trouble, and you're relatively sure that you do qualify for a loan modification, I wouldn't second guess it. If you do all of the forms and you do them honestly and accurately, and you can see that yes, you qualify, it is definitely better to modify your loan than to let your home foreclose. Well, then go at it with certainty, and you can go ahead and call the lender, tell them, hey, I want to continue to send 31% of my income in, because in good faith, I am quite sure that I'll qualify for a loan modification, and I don't want to get so far behind by the time you guys figure out that I qualify for a loan modification that something else interferes and I end up having to pay a huge short sale, or rather a huge shortfall on this. And unfortunately, what I have seen happen sometimes with lenders is that they will come back having gotten it disqualified because your lender is Deutsche Bank or some other, securitized loan pool investor, da 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 da, and there was no workout that was allowed for. And so, what were they going to do? So they're not going to give you the money. So there was no government assistance. There was nothing. All of that, and I've seen this happen repeatedly. And frankly, in cases like that, these are securitized loan pools, probably most of them that are having the most trouble. I would write a letter at that point to Fannie Mae, and I would ask Fannie Mae to please purchase this loan back from whatever pool it's gotten itself into, that you are qualified for a loan modification, that you are being refused this loan modification. And again, before doing that, I would actually send the demand letter that I've mentioned in an earlier video to the lender, demanding that they tell you who the underlying investor is, so then you can name to Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac. You can send a letter to both of them. And I would have probably, if it was me, if it was my loan, I'd also send a letter to the head of FHFA. Just for his info, because, somebody's got to side check this whole system. And when these out-of-country investors do these kind of oddball things, it's good to have sort of a knowledge report system of sorts where you are actually, telling people time, place, form, and event. And, you've outlined this thing, and you've got dates, and on this date this happened, and on this date I was told this, and on this date I was told this. And also, and we'll be putting more of this together later, each state has its own codes. It's quite often it's very, very good to know what your state's codes are and to cite them in letters like this. So that's my advice, and that's more advice for a real pro to take on. You might want to have whoever's working with you on getting your loan modified listen to this video so that they can get and expand on these ideas with you. But eventually it'll become clear to everybody that it really isn't the borrower's fault why the loan is not getting modified. And then once it finally does come through, hopefully everything then does come right. And again, if it doesn't come right, please give me a call. I welcome calls, particularly from people who have taken on the role, have rolled up their sleeves, have raised their shoulders a little bit higher, have decided that they're going to have a clean nose, have pushed forward and have studied the issues and have, responsibly proceeded in getting this loan modification. Those are the people I really do want to hear from. If you're still not getting a loan modification, believe me, something can be done about it. And I would be very, very honored and happy to work at your side in getting that done. Also, there will up the line be, further offerings and whatnot. This video is being done middle of August of 2010. Some other things may have come out, so definitely by all means give me a call if you need any assistance. Meanwhile, I'm Connie Saunders. Our website is www.foreclosurefreedomnetwork.com, and our phone number is 877-333-4506. Thank you, and have a great day.